Hey, good morning, and Laura, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you for A Million Cups for giving me the opportunity to present my company today. My name is Mary Santos. I'm a coffee professional. I have 20 years of sales and marketing experience. I'm also current president of the International Women Coffee Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization that empowers women from seed to cup. And I'm also proud owner and founder of Sedna Coffee Roasters and Tea. Sedna Coffee Roaster is a small batch specialty coffee roaster that delivers fresh roasted beans to your door. Just picture them as the Amazon of coffee. We are a mission-driven organization. The United Nations estimates that there are 25 million small farmers managed by families that produce 80% of the world coffee. 70% of the work in the field is done by women, yet only 10% play a good role or participate in leadership and decision-making decisions. Gender inequality, poverty conditions, and lack of resources are a big impediment on women economic empowerment in coffee. That's why Sedna Coffee is committed to 100% sourcing of our coffee from women producers. It empowers them to improve their lives, their families, and their communities. Specialty coffee sales are increasing at an exponential rate of 20% per year, which accounts for about nearly 8% of the $18 billion U.S. coffee market. This is huge, and it's a huge opportunity for us. How are we planning to do this and go to market? Well, we're taking an unconventional approach. We're going to go with corporate gifts programs. We're going to have a big focus on online sales. We're going to focus on private label for companies and business that want to promote their brand through coffee. Fundraising programs for nonprofit organizations using coffee as a vehicle to raise money. And obviously one that I didn't put over there was the wholesale, which is a necessary evil for every coffee roaster. Our competitive landscape looks like this. We know that we have local and regional micro roasters that are popping everywhere here, not only in Sacramento, but in the entire North Bay, North California. We also have coffee roasters that have a strong online presence. Corporate gift catalogs, since we're going after the corporate gift market, and also the traditional nonprofit fundraising model, so we're competing against that. Our financial projections, one of the decisions that we made early in our idea stage was to, how do we keep our costs and expenses down? We partner with a coffee roaster out of Petaluma, which is allowing us to go and roast our coffee, package, and ship it out here. Our projections and revenue looks pretty healthy then because we're able to manage our expenses with a healthy growth and a 3-year projection as we increase our sales. Our key milestones being, obviously, our first step was to partner with these coffee roasters in Petaluma. After doing a lot of research, we realized that utilizing somebody else's facility was a good plan for us. It will allow us to do a lot of testing and really serve, without making a lot of capital investment, it will allow us to know if really we want to be in business. So we secure that partnership for 3 years. We also launched our website with e-commerce and a subscription platform. We have already a few private label for business and some local independent coffee houses. And we're going to have the big launch of our first fundraiser with a local nonprofit organization starting July 1st. We have the soft launch last May. And we just finished developing a gift catalog since the corporate gifting decision-making starts here in July for the conference. A leadership team and strategic alliances, obviously myself, and then I have the support of Kim Bach. She's a co-founder of Sedna and advisor. She's also a CEO for Gatekeeper Innovation, a local-based company. She's a former HP Vice President of Global Support Operation and IT Services. And I have to add, she is an Ironman woman and a sister and a friend. We also have our Eco Delight Coffee is our strategic partner for roasting, packing, and shipping our coffee. What do we need right now? I need introduction to corporate people, introduce client relationships, maybe some employee rewards program, no-profit organization for raising developers, anybody that is open to listen to a non-traditional approach of fundraising, and also independent coffee houses wanting to promote their own coffee brand. For more information, I'm available after the presentation. Thank you. Hey, I practiced.
Yeah, you did good. We'll give you a high five for that. So we'll open it up for questions, but first, how can this community help you?
And really, networking is, word of mouth is what really helps, since I don't have a storefront. That might be something that we may look in the, down the road, but it's not in our plans. We really feel that the niche that we are addressing is unique, especially in the corporate gifting. So if you guys, any of you do corporate gifts, we're here. We put any of our corporate gifts are custom made with coffee and any other, either coffee brewing devices or any other food-related item that is produced by a woman here in California or here in the Sacramento area. We're trying to also support local women entrepreneurs.
Okay, very cool. So I want to invite those of you in the back, feel free to come up. There's a couple seats here, there's a seat there, there's a seat over here. And is ZM Controllers here?
ZM Controllers? No.
Okay. All right, so I now open it up for questions.
Yes.
Hi, great coffee. This is your coffee, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. A great story. It's a story that I think a lot of people want to buy the story. Have you been able to narrow down your customers to customers who have not been able to fulfill on this story? I mean, everybody loves coffee. Everybody loves good coffee. I was thinking about the kind of customers who they want to do a fundraising gift, but they haven't been able to get a story like this attached to the product that
We're
they want
trying to relate or sync it with non-profit organizations that also have maybe a social responsibility outside. For instance, the one that we're doing here right now is with the Children's Receiving Home Sacramento, which has a huge impact on families and kids. So they were able to relate to us because what we do is, as we pay a premium for our coffee, we're impacting also women in coffee and kids in the community. So we're putting the story together. We're trying to find also nonprofits that have a social conscious or companies that have a social conscious or want to include products that comply with their social responsibility initiative. So we've been getting a lot of good reception about that. But yes, the story is what is making the difference here. Anytime we talk about gender equality or how to reduce that gap in any industry, one of the things that I forgot to mention is that studies also show that for the coffee industry, if we don't address the issues of women in coffee and at the farm level, we're not going to be able to meet demand. And then we're going to struggle as an industry to become 100% sustainable. So that's a good, powerful statement right there, because we all drink coffee, and if that is in jeopardy, I believe that people are paying attention. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes.
Could you talk a little bit more about where you see yourself fitting in the competitive landscape from somebody like Rogers Coffee Company out of Lincoln, who does mass production and labeling for companies like Kirkland and SFK, different coffee roasting companies, to a Temple or Insight Coffee Roasters, which is on a small scale, or Benelli's, which is kind of in between.
Absolutely.
Where do you differentiate yourself, and how do you see yourself fitting in that landscape?
Well, number one, let's talk about Rogers family and corporations at that level. They are what I call it more of the institutional coffee. They really do have a story as well, because I know Rogers has coffee farms, and they're doing great work. So they're doing something at a bigger scale. I'm concentrating more on the smaller producers, the ones, the families or the farmers that produce the 1 or 2 bag. In reference to Temple and Benelli's, we're all friends. I know Jean from Benelli's and the owner and the buyer from Temple. We have traveled together to coffee farms. And their approach is totally different. Temple, their growth is having coffee shops everywhere. They do a great job also on connecting, having direct trade. But they're not going after, companies corporations for corporate gifts or things like that. Vanelli's is also more on the wholesale, which is a market or a niche that we are, priority of customers is probably in the bottom because it's a necessary evil. We know we need to have them, but the whole platform for wholesale and coffee is very convoluted because you only have to provide coffee, you have to provide equipment, you have to provide service, so it's a lot of other components that we really don't want to get into.
First of all, in this sentence, I think it's a great idea. I think, it's going to resonate like crazy. My thought has nothing to do with coffee, but it has to do with tea, and I'm wondering if the same sort of statistics are in with the tea. I don't know if you know that or not.
No, yeah, if you saw our name is Coffee Roasters and Tea. We have tea in our pipeline of items or the commodity that we're going to incorporate. Tea is a very difficult industry in the sense of importing the tea. It's not as good. So we are partnering trying to see who are the best tea importers here in New York. We already have. Actually, we are going to start carrying a line from the art of tea, and that's probably going to be launched here in Q3. We just need to make sure that it aligns with what we're doing.
Sure.
So making sure that it also women are involved, that we're impacting women, and also the line is to be created. It's going to be probably more a female-oriented product. So yes, tea is part of it.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. I thought it was pretty obvious, but yeah, thanks.
So I really like your setup and how you have it, and it sounds like a lot of people really like your story. I know in retail, one of the things that can be very powerful is maybe like a small video.
Yes.
And I thought you actually had a slide where I guess a woman was picking coffee and her daughter was there. I wonder if there's some way that you could possibly make a video all the way from the women picking coffee to the roasting to, hey, I'm drinking this coffee now and I feel good because I'm supporting them.
Well, we're in sync with that because that's part of our marketing strategy there to really, once we start getting more strong online, and probably another ask is, if you're a web designer or whatever, I need it. I'm doing it all myself right now and I'm learning, yes, videos are powerful. We are looking into probably incorporating a 1-minute video where it shows, actually the women picking the coffee, because we're also incorporating women through the entire supply chain, a women roaster, a women exporter, a women selling coffee, the barista, so it's not just the women coffee farmer, that is women through the entire supply chain. So if we empower that and we are able to focus on that, I think we can differentiate ourselves from.
Tell that story.
Yeah, so 3 things, kind of piggybacking on you. Your packaging should convey that story through imagery. Right away, you have a very cool logo, like it very much, but maybe even a link or QR code that would take people to a more elaborate version of that story so they could get the story right away. The Silicon Valley HR departments are very cause-oriented, and with the disparity of women leadership to female to male leadership in Silicon Valley, which they're trying to correct, something like this type of story might be something they fully embrace. And so I'd get in touch with their human resources departments because it also may be good for their employee gift packages, and then become kind of a strategic partner as somebody that said, and we support this company with this awesome cause. And then also might be a way for you to dip your toe into your first storefront within campuses that are always opening up coffee shops and cafes and restaurants on campus to keep their employees there.
Thank you. Yes, and we're also investigating on becoming a women-owned certified company because we know that will allow us to go into other segments or markets that require to have that percentage of women-owned business.
Yeah.
Or allocate some of their purchasing to women-owned business. So we're looking into that.
The 2 companies I would start with is Salesforce, who's the largest property owner in San Francisco.
Yes, and we do have a good contact out of there. Very good.
And it sounds like one of your advisors or partners, we should be well connected. Is that you?
Yes.
And then Apple is very cause oriented as well.
You had said the Amazon for coffee. And when I think of Amazon, I think zero profit margin, zero story. And but the one thing they do on Amazon is they do subscriptions.
Exactly, and we just added our subscription platform. We were forced to it when we did the fundraiser, since we are managing. One of the things that we're doing as a company, and to alleviate disrupting the model for some buyers, is to make it easy for them. So for this particular customer, we said, hey, we have the means in the platform to manage it for you until we grow to a point where you want to take over. So we're doing a subscription model and doing all that through our e-commerce platform, and then if they eventually want to do that, it will migrate to them. But yes, subscription. So when I say Amazon, is more thinking of people that when they order, it will come directly to their doors.
Aha. Okay. So.
And I could change that. It's
I
a
guess,
good point.
If the sell is women empowerment, I'm just trying to think of, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but one way to rephrase the women empowerment story to your door, as opposed to Amazon.
I will look into it. That's a good point, because sometimes we have these great ideas, but we don't know how the audience is going to receive it. So it is a good feedback. Thank you.
Just a quick question. Are you a nonprofit or are you?
No, I'm not for profit. I am president of a nonprofit organization. So being volunteering, we work with women producers, and I've been volunteering for 13 years now. I started just as a volunteer, got into the board this year, being president for 2 years. My year term is up. And I'm going to Budapest actually on Sunday for meet with our women from Ethiopia over there. We have a big copying session for them, so we try to open trade for them. So I feel like my obligation to the industry is also to be part of the solution. So that's why Sedna is part of the solution.
Well, go ahead, Rena.
Hi, Mary. How you doing?
Hi. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything out there that is like coffees of the world? I mean, that might be kind of an interesting angle if you're helping women coffee growers from all over the world, like almost like different flavors.
Yes, well, every coffee has its own profile. If you are a kind of coffee connoisseur, you've probably seen that, our coffee roasters here in the area do such an amazing job of profiling farms and profiling the differences of the coffees. Depending on how they roast it, it tastes different. So the actual specialty coffee industry has been shifting from that commodity coffee into something more unique. And I think we all, when I say all, we all micro roasters are trying to be socially responsible and really, the coffees of the world. It will be great. The only thing I am against that is the more you offer, the more they demand in terms of product line. So it's very expensive. It's a very big investment to have coffees from all around the world. The logistics is still not very good for the women producers. That's something that the nonprofit organization is working on, and I'm trying to work with importers and exporters on making the logistics of moving the coffee from a small producer that only have 2 or 3 bags of coffee all the way into the market. So that's the challenge that we are facing right now. We're trying to make it easy for them to open. So it's initiatives like ours, and mine is not unique to it. There are other companies that are doing it, but that's the challenge that we all face.
Are you setting it up as a subscription?
Both.
Okay.
I have a subscription and a one-time. So it's, it's how you want it, when you want it.
So I'm interested in what you guys have done on the PR side and kind of guerrilla marketing tactics, because I think it would be a great way for you guys to get women who care. So for example, getting bloggers in that space to write about your coffee or sending them samples, things of that nature, trying to reach out to even local media, different Sacktown Magazine, Sacramento Magazine, Comstocks, about possibly pitching a story to them on what you do. That I think that would be a cool way for you
Yeah,
to get some traction?
It is in our marketing plan. I'm very cautious on going out without showing some results or some good stories out there. So right now we're building the good stories. So when we go out, I always have this feeling like, and I picture this Oprah Winfrey moment when this small company went out and then they couldn't meet the man. You know, it would be great if it could happen to a company like ours. You know, but you also have to be prepared to that impact once you go big. We've been very soft on social media with our Facebook, some tweeting, Instagram. Anytime we go on a speaking engagement, we try to do something. But what you said, yes, we have spoke to Whitney at Comstock Magazine, and one of the things that she mentioned is let's have a good story and something, a success story here locally that you were able to impact not only locally but globally. That we can tap into that direction.
And I think the blogger influence type model would be good for you. I don't know what kind of response you would get, but if you're not looking to grow sales right now, what is your #1 goal?
Oh no, that is the #1 goal. We need to grow sales. The corporate gifting and the private label is where we see that we're going. Getting a lot of interest and working on a few projects currently just to get that going. In Eden, I have taken the approach of going to independent coffee houses, and taking the approach of saying, okay, you're buying coffee from somebody, why don't you not only sell the beverage as a coffee, but you also sell your coffee, a coffee with your name. And we've been testing a few locations here in town where they're doing that, and they love it.
I think there'd be some coffee bloggers out there too that might be an interesting place to play with one of them and see what happens.
Yes, thank you.
I think it'd be interesting to maybe look at partnerships with other food, like what comes to mind is Trifecta. They're an organic meal delivery service here in Sacramento. Who are killing it with influencer marketing on social media. Hook up with them and see if there's any kind of a symbiotic relationship potential.
Yes.
Because they're distributing all over the United States.
Absolutely, and talking about organic, most of these coffees are also organic. So what we're trying to do is get the facility organic certified, so we're able only to buy it. I mean, they are organic, and we can say this is an organic grown coffee, but we're not in a position to say it's organically roasted because we have not received the organic certification, which we're looking into it. It's a very expensive and time-consuming process. Our government doesn't make it easy.
All right, last question.
I was just trying to get an idea of your market scope. If your roaster's in Petaluma, is Northern California, is it mail order across the United States, is it global? Like, is there a point where you're like, that doesn't make us much financial sense, even though we do want to promote the store?
I look into that, and for me, since we're going more from an e-commerce, I could really roast coffee anywhere in the world, #1. For the local business, wholesale business that is here, I still consider that it's outside the Bay Area, Sacramento, but it's still within driving distance. So we are able to deliver coffee the same day, if not next day, at the latest. So no, it's not. The only challenge for me is the driving.
So if there was another one of you in North Carolina,
Yes.
and they loved the story, and they were coffee pros, and they had the connections for a roaster in North Carolina, they could do the whole thing.
Yes. Franchise. If we go in a storefront, that will be, on the storefront we're debating a lot of ideas. My dream idea, and I will share it to you, is to really tap on with our local community here and our local government to create a coffee school, have the coffee shop be also a coffee school where we can get the women that are being removed from human trafficking or from drug abuse or anything. Even St. John's could be, that's the type of partnership that we would love to have, where we can embrace these women that need to be put back to work and use our storefront not only to be a profitable one, but also a training session for women to get into market. That's the idea. That's my dream world.
Okay, really last question. Go ahead, Mike.
God.
A suggestion.
Yes.
You just added several more causes and stories.
Yes.
Generally, that's a bad thing to do.
We put it on a 3-year plan. Right now is, you know when you have your wish list, your Santa wish list, and it's right there, we're not working on it. It's just that we always know that we have to be prepared for opportunities, and if the opportunity comes along, then at least we already have thought about it and have some initial discussions about it. But you're right.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you.